Okay, let's look at the components of the game and what everything does and what it's used for. Well, I have it set up, have the game set up here for 4 players, and this is the starting setup. We'll just start up here at the upper left of the table, and we'll just kind of go around. We've already talked about this in the victory conditions. This is the jump deck. These are the locations that the ship will visit on its way to Cobalt, or a place to settle. This is the Cobalt card that kind of shows you, I'm not sure if you can read that, but it shows that once you reach a distance of 4, the sleeper agent phase happens, which the sleeper agent phase is what I mentioned at the beginning, where you deal out new loyalty cards. Then when you reach a distance of 8, the next time the fleet jumps, the humans win the game. Do not draw a destination card. So that's just kind of a reminder of when you win, when you do the sleeper agent. This is the rest of the loyalty deck. There are different rules, depending on the number of players, how you build the loyalty deck. And you can see I've already dealt out 1 loyalty card to every player. But then when the sleeper phase happens, you need the rest of these cards to deal out. This is the Crisis deck, similar to like the Mythos deck and Arkham Horror. These are the Encounter deck and Castle Ravenloft. These are bad things that happen, basically. So at each turn, each player will draw one of these cards, and then you'll have to deal with it. Players will have to work together to deal with it. See, this is a weapon malfunction. And we'll go over these a little bit more detail, especially when I go over the skill check, because most of these will involve a skill check, which are opportunities for the Cylon players to sabotage things, but also ways for the human players to cooperate, to kind of work through those. Just stick that in there. Okay, this is the Destiny deck. We'll talk about that more later also during the skill checks, because during each skill check, 2 cards are dealt out of this Destiny deck. That kind of keeps it from making it too obvious about who played what card. This is where the damaged Vipers go. Vipers are these little good guy ships, the human ships, kind of like X-Wings. When the one's damaged, it's put here. These are these are the reserves for the Vipers and for the Raptors. These are Raptors. Basically, this little tack is because I'm missing a Viper for some reason, so I put that there because it might matter. The Cylons have an almost unlimited number of ships, but the humans, there's only so many ships that the Battlestar has, so you got to keep track of those. We've already looked at these a little bit. These are the fuel, food, morale, and population. These will move up or down depending upon crisis cards and other stuff. Over here is this is the other ship that's with Galactica. This I can't remember the name of it now. It's like Presidential 1 or something like that. You can see this is where Laura Roslin starts, and these are locations that the players can go to during their turn, which we'll look at during the turn order. These are Cylon locations. Same kind of idea, only these can only be visited by revealed Cylons. So when a Cylon reveals his or her identity, they move over to one of these locations, and they can do various bad things to the humans. This is the jump preparation track we kind of talked about in the victory conditions. Various cards in the crisis deck will make you move this up, and when you get to here, you can jump if you want to by going to the FTL control location, but you have a chance of losing some population. You're going to have to leave some fleet behind as you jump. But then when you get down here, auto jump, then you're going to jump. This is the boarding party track. Like I mentioned, the Cylons, when they enter the Galactica, will move up this track. Move over here. This is all important 8-sided die. These are tokens that go on the boarding party track. These are damage tokens on the Galactica. When you replace one of these, they do different things depending upon what's on the back. maybe close down some things, lose some population, that sort of stuff. These are the civilian ships. You can see there's already 2 of them out here. When a Cylon ship reaches one of these, destroys it, you'll lose different things depending on what's on the back of these. See, that's population. No, that might be nothing. I'm not positive. But anyway, that's what those are. These are Cylon damage markers when you damage a Cylon base star, which is what these are called. This is like the Cylon battleships, basically. These are Cylon Super Crisis cards. The revealed Cylons will get to draw one of these guys. They're basically bad things that the Cylons can do to the humans. Cylon base star, Cylon Raiders. This is the Galactica itself. You can see each location on the Galactica has an action that the person who's in that location can do. During your turn, you can move around the Galactica, go to different locations. The outside of the spaceship of the Galactica is the space area where the different ships can move around. You can see at the beginning of the game, the Galactica is already under attack by a Cylon base star and 3 Cylon Raiders, but we've already got 2 Vipers launched. You can notice these red things are the only places that Vipers can launch out of the ship. The rules, I think it's kind of cool in the rules, it says that the reason there's not any on this side is because this part of the Galactica is actually a museum. The Galactica wasn't ever planned on being a fighting ship. It was retired. So anyway, kind of a cool little detail. Down here are the different types of skill cards: politics, leadership, tactics, piloting, and engineering. And different crisis cards will require different types of skills to get past them. So it's important that the human players all have a wide variety of skills on their character cards, because those character cards determine which deck you're going to get to draw from. And that's also a way that the humans can tell who the Cylons are at times, or at least guess, is by which color of skill cards are played during skill challenges. Okay. Along here, I have the 4 players set up. So there's a whole section of rules about how you determine which characters you are. But the key thing is that you want to make sure that you have a political leader, a military leader, a support guy, and a pilot. So I kind of picked the most popular ones from each one of those, at least that I thought of. The one that immediately comes to mind. Such a political leader is definitely Laura Roslin. So she's got you usually have a good thing and a bad thing. She's got, religious views, which she gets to do some extra stuff. She's a skilled politician, which she gets to do some extra stuff, but she's got a terminal illness. That's kind of bad. So anyway, that's special rules for each character. This is just the current player token. I just decided she'd be the first player. This is her loyalty card. Do we want to peek at it? Uh-oh, she's a Cylon sympathizer. That's not good. This is the president card. There's rules of secession, so if someone finds out that she's a Cylon or a sympathizer or something and puts her in the brig, then the president card can move to somebody else. This gives her some special actions here. This is the quorum deck. The president gets to draw from it for certain things. I think they spin this action, to draw a quorum card into your hand. And then these can do various things, release Cylon mugshots, which allows you to look at one random loyalty card belonging to any other player, stuff like that. Good stuff. It pays to be the president. Here's William Adama, the admiral. He's the military leader. He's an inspirational leader. He's got command authority, but he's emotionally attached. That's always bad. You can see that he starts the game with 3 skill cards. The first player does not start with any skill cards, but we'll draw some on her first turn. But all the other players start with some skill cards. He's the admiral, so he gets this admiral card. Similar to the president, there's a line of secession if something happened to him. He starts the game with these 2 nuke tokens, which you can launch a nuke at a base star, which does a lot of damage. but he's only got 2 of them. So this is his loyalty card. Do we want to find out? Whew, he's not a Cylon. That's good. Here's the Chief. He's a support, one of the only engineers, so it's important to, at least in the base game, so it's important to have him on the team. He's a maintenance engineer, got blind devotion, but he's reckless. And his hidden card, he's not a Cylon. And here's Starbuck. She's a pilot, expert pilot. She's got a secret destiny, but she's also insubordinate. She's got a starting cards, and she is not a Cylon. Since she's a pilot, she starts with this little red marker, which if she launches herself out into a Viper, she'll put that underneath her Viper, so you'll know which one she is. Only pilots, people that can fly, get that. So that's the components, that's the board. Next we'll look at turn order, and then we'll go over some of the rules like skill checks and combat.